Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Vice President of Strategy, Pivotal, James Waters, and Vice President and General Manager, VMware Cloud Native Business Unit, Paul Fazzone.
Pretty cool. So Paul and I were backstage listening about all this great transformation that's happening and remarking to each other that, a little bit of our partnership between VMware and Pivotal is that there's still infrastructure and networks and other things that these enterprises all have that need to become agile and API defined and DevOps ready.
Yeah, and there's one of the things we were talking about, listening to Nikki talk specifically, I was thinking about what are the things that have typically slowed developers down. And there's this thing that's been around for a long time called email-defined networking. Who here's faced delays due to
email-defined networking?
Right, where you pass a trouble ticket or an email over to your ops team to say, hey, I need to open up this port or connect this network. Right? And this is something that's been around forever, right? The past 20, 25 years of networking. And so this was one of the areas we identified pretty early on to say, how do we help remove friction between development teams and operational teams?
That's right, and people say, hey, where did some of this big collaboration on networking between VMware and Pivotal come from? A lot of it came from direct requests that I received out with clients saying, we love the platform, we love that we can go fast, but anytime we need to change anything that's closer to a network, that's the longest possible lead time that we have. Yeah. And in the spirit of lean, low inventory, low lead time, we really had to come together to form a major technology partnership to bring the devs and the ops teams, closer together. Because what people were facing was this world today, which is that everything inside the platform, inside the framework was immediate and gratifying, and a lot of tickets around the outside.
And as you get through, if you think about, different development teams use different methodologies, different approaches, that has to translate, largely speaking, to a common infrastructure platform underneath. And each of those frameworks have different requirements or have different interaction points. And so this is one of the things that led the IT or the ops teams to move a lot slower than you would have liked. But they're operating with the best interest of your company in mind. They're trying to keep your company safe. They're trying to keep your company compliant. They're trying to keep your company audit ready. These aren't things that you necessarily care about as developers when you're thinking about this from let me get my new product in the hands of our customers as quickly as possible. But they're things that your CIO and CEO care about every day, and your chief security officer. And so we're trying to really figure out how to bring these worlds together, remove the friction points, and allow the operations teams to better support the needs of the development teams that are powering their businesses.
Yeah, and I think one of the cool things that's happened just working with clients on the integration between VMware, Pivotal Container Service, and NSX is they've realized they can have agility and transformation with higher security. And that's one of the things that a lot of the ticket-based process culture was there to defend the enterprise and to defend what they'd established in the market. And now a lot of the leadership has said, if we can put a micro-segment around every app without even thinking about it, boy, that gets me a better security posture than we've ever had and reduces the ticket burden on my developers.
Yeah, and basically what we're enabling is as applications are created, the application metadata can actually be used to drive the underlying network and security topologies that are implemented in the infrastructure in an automated fashion, so that that friction or that time to deliver the service between developers and IT can simply start to disappear.
Yeah, we have an illustration of what that looks like right here. It's a technical diagram.
Now, we're just getting started on this journey, right? James and I have been talking to a lot of customers over the last year or so. Again, in some cases on the development side of the house, in some cases on the IT side of the house. What we're doing now is we're actually bringing the teams together, right? So we go into customer meetings all the time, and we invite folks from both sides of the group to come together. And as Josh McKinty likes to call it, it's couples therapy.
Yeah.
We're bringing teams together and we're saying, okay, dev team, what stands in your way? IT team, what frustrates you? And as you start to get them the two teams talking to one another, you realize that they have a common goal, and there's some friction points that the platforms that we're building can pretty easily address. And so we're working really hard through projects like the Pivotal Container Service, as well as the new PCF 2.0 offering that was introduced by ANSI here yesterday, to bring some really straightforward but operational efficiency gains to the everyday deployment and operations of those platforms.
Yeah, I think it's so exciting, our collaboration with VMware, allowing more infrastructure-like primitives like networks and containers to be surfaced in the platform, so you never really have to leave that platform boundary where Bosch is actively managing patching, where there's security policy through a multi-tenancy established to get your job done. So we think that's a huge part of driving the transformation stories you're hearing the whole way down into the operations and infrastructure organizations. So thank you very so much for the collaboration, Paul, and it's great to have you here.
Yeah, and thank you very much, James. I think you're going to expect to see some really cool innovations coming out in the Bosch area to take better advantage of the underlying infrastructure assets underneath as we move forward, to make your jobs even easier to get applications into your customers' hands as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see Bosch essentially become part of vSphere through this collaboration.
And speaking of Bosch, I think the next session is going to really focus on a demonstration of PKS and showing how Bosch can be used to support a Kubernetes deployment in production environment. So looking forward to that.
That's a great segue. Let's see it.
Thanks. Thank you.